Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Music Theory Basics. Today we are going to be building augmented and diminished chords. In your practice of major and minor chords, you may have wondered why you have to check the fifth of your chord even though you can sort of tell by the shape of it already. Or you might have tried to play a major or minor chord and thought it sounded a little bit off. Augmented and diminished chords may be that reason. Both augmented and diminished chords will change the fifth of the chord. Referencing back to my video on diminished and augmented intervals, remember that what starts off as a perfect fifth becomes augmented when raised by a half step and diminished when lowered by a half step. We now get to see how that applies to chords. A diminished chord starts as a minor chord and then you lower the fifth by one half step. Let's try and turn this G minor chord into G diminished. All that we need to do is lower the fifth of this chord by one half step, so D becomes D flat. Another way to imagine a diminished chord is as a stack of two minor thirds. So if we want to play B diminished, we could count 3 half steps up from B, which is D, and then another 3 half steps up from D, which is F natural. Be careful not to get in the habit of thinking 1 half step down means you stick a flat on the fifth. As we can see in the second example, the fifth isn't flatted, it is lowered by 1 half step, as in comparison to a regular B minor chord. An augmented chord is a major chord that has its fifth raised by a half step. So if we take C major and raise the fifth, which is G, by 1 half step to G sharp, we get C augmented. You can also think of an augmented chord as a stack of 2 major thirds. If we build an E flat augmented chord, we start by going up 4 half steps from E flat, which takes us to G, and then another 4 half steps up from G, which takes us to B natural. Again, don't get into the habit of thinking raising a note by a half step is as simple as putting a sharp on it. Sometimes all you need is a natural sign. Major, minor, diminished, and augmented chords make up the bulk of the chord knowledge you need to start working with chords and writing your own progressions. This has been another episode of Music Theory Basics. If you have any questions or topics you would like me to cover in future videos, leave them in the comments below. A like, share, and subscribe are always appreciated. I look forward to working with you to build your skills from the ground up.